Hi, I'm Faisal Khan, Cisco collaboration instructor at Voice Bootcamp. In this video, we're going to focus on capacity planning. Now, the capacity planning has many different areas that you need to focus on when we're designing a network. Here, we're going to talk about cluster size, interconnection between individual products, server capability, optional capabilities and features. We're going to talk about mixed of call types, endpoint, different type of endpoints that you have, along with system release, what happened if you go from one version to another version, and so on and so. So this topic is going to discuss some of those capacity planning requirements, particularly here when it comes to designing for our different size of environment. Now, where this can catch you out there is that there are many different elements that are involved to try and figure out how big your network needs to be or how big it can be. There are a lot of criteria that makes this up, including the different size of clusters. So what is your interaction between the different type of product, or how frequently does that happen? Does certain things needs to be updated or added? All these things has to be kept in mind when you're designing a environment. Your server, what are they capable of? How big they are? How many CPUs you need to purchase, or how many memories they need to have, etc. All these needs to be considered when you're designing your environment. We also have a different options and capabilities for features that may or may not want to run. For example, one organization may use feature A, where other organization may not want to use feature A, but they want to use feature B and C and D. Well, in that case, how does that affect your resource utilization on the servers? So all these things will impact your utilizations. So now we're mixing all of these different things together, which release version when you're running them, and then you suddenly upgrade. How does that upgrade to new version affects your existing configurations? Obviously, there are different releases will have different requirements depending on Cisco's documentation. Then you need to look into whether are you using external applications to communicate with, and if so, which one, and what are the requirements from a network perspective. You also need to look at your participant growth, such as 5 years from now, 2 years from now, how many users you need, and if you need maybe 2 years from now you are going to have a 500 user more, and then you realize that your existing design is almost reaching the capacity of your existing threshold. So adding 500 may require a redesigning of your virtual machines or servers or licensing and whatnot. So all these things has to be considered. Now, of course, there may be some decision around that you have to make based on given information from the client. Because you may not have answers to everything. So this scenario could be something that you want to use to get those answers, and perhaps you will have a better picture as far as how your cluster size is going to be. So this exercise can help you identify those requirements. Now, of course, if you know some of the answers to your questions, it may help yourself designing your solution much better. But if you don't, you're going to have to dig into more information, use various tools to communicate with various departments to get those answers. Now, collaboration sizing tools plays vital role in terms of capacity planning, because all these factors that we talk about and possible variations that can come across. The accurate size of large system deployment is complex and undertaking. For that reason, we strongly recommend that you use a system sizing tools, and there are various system sizing tools that are available for you to use. These tools takes into account data from performance testing, individual product limits, performance rating, advanced and new features in the product releases, and other factors. So based on those input provided by the system designer, the tools apply their sizing algorithm to supply the data that is recommended to use different type of hardware softwares. The type of collaboration sizing tools that you have, Cisco collaboration sizing tool, which is a tool that allows you to provision or planning for unified communication manager, IM and presence, voice messaging, conferencing, management suite, contact center, and so and so. Then you can also use a session management edition sizing tool, which is a specialized tools focused on specific function of Cisco Unified CM session management edition deployment. If you are deploying Cisco virtual experience infrastructure, VXI, then they have a dedicated tools for that purposes. When it comes to virtual machine placement tools, the virtual machine placement tools is a graphical tools that allows you to choose a tested reference configuration or specific hardware-based configuration and drag and drop the various Cisco collaboration application to see if it's going to meet the requirement of your required design. So these are some of the tools that you have options. Some of them will require you to have Cisco CCO account in order to access them, so that you can use them for during your design phases. All right, so that's the overview about the capacity planning. Hope you got an idea about the type of tools that are available. You got unified collaboration sizing tools for call manager, presence, Unity, contact center. You got the SME sizing tool, a specialized sizing tool for SME edition of the call manager. You have VXI, which is virtual experience infrastructure, and then of course you got the Cisco virtual machine placement tools that allows you to drag and drop various collaboration application. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video, and I will see you in the next.